Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm LaWanda.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
And today with us, we have one of our special guests. He is a spotter and he is joining us in conversation. Ryan, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. My name is Ryan Abney, and I'm grateful to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us.
I'm grateful you're here too, Ryan, because
We're happy to have you. Ron is happy to have another male.
If you need me, I'm here. I could be here every week. Let me know.
Oh, watch out now. Watch out.
Hey,
I may have
be here
to.
the whole season.
Okay. I like that. See, that's a true spotter right there.
Yes, indeed. And if you guys don't know, we are back talking about PowerBook II. It has come back for season 2. And so we will be talking about episode 1. If you guys hang tight, we'll be back in just a moment. Everyone, we are back. Like I said, we are talking about Power 2. This was the season 2 premiere, and it was titled "Free Will is Never Free." What do you guys think about that title? Because it was kind of brought up in the episode about this free will situation and whether the choices you make are really your own or are they, influenced by other people.
Or influenced by some divine intervention. I think that you do have free will. I know Tariq has exercised his on any occasion. And, so of course, I think that free will is what it is. It's what you choose your life to be.
But is it free? Because this says it's never free.
No, because there's always consequences. It's free will, but you're going to pay. You're going to have consequences behind those decisions. And we're seeing the consequences of Tariq's decisions. I mean, this didn't have to be his life. He murdered his father.
There's always cause and effect.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of dealing with the aftermath of murdering Jabari. So he's having flashbacks. This boy has like all kind of PTSD.
And it's all self-inflicted.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they really just picked up this season right where last season left off. And so I had to go back and refresh myself because so much stuff went down and I'm still like trying to remember names and things like that. So bear with me. But I did see that Jabari in this whole situation, Tariq, of course, is having the flashbacks, but he's at Big Mama's house. And so she's kind of been drinking and stuff, but I didn't ever know that she was a heavy drinker. And so I was like, well, where did that come from?
Yeah, her whole demeanor changed.
Yeah. Like she's not the same loving grandma that she used to be because she was really chastising Yaz. And I was like, what is going on here?
Maybe because Tasha's in Witsack and and before, Ghost was paying the rent and all of that and stuff. It had a whole different lifestyle. Well, so I think the weight of the world is probably on Big Mama.
Yeah, and it seems to me she had a little bout of Alzheimer's or something.
I thought she seemed like she had like dementia going on in her head.
Yeah, because Jasmine said something to the effect that she's been getting worse. So I think. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think they were talking about the drinking, and I think she didn't have Alzheimer's. I think Tariq is trying to establish an alibi for the night before. So it wasn't that she didn't remember him being there. He wasn't there. He's trying to tell her that he was there, and she's not gonna catch on because she's been drinking.
Yeah, she was so incoherent. She was just like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you say. So Tariq, I think he's so manipulative. He realized that and seized the moment.
Smart.
Just like his dad.
There you go.
Thank you, Ryan.
Just like his dad.
Thank you, Ryan.
Because that's exactly what I was going to say. He means that in a good way. He's just like his dad.
Well, lying and manipulative is, I mean, that is the one that
that's
goes,
so
and
hard.
Tasha too, to be
Manipulation.
fair.
That's intelligence.
And Tasha too, to be fair. So he
But
got it honestly.
he's also showing his intelligence, his quick wit, how he can get in and out of
absolutely.
out of a situation. And that's what I saw. You know, he's very, very quick on his feet. And you need to be that to be in his game. You know, so exercising that with his grandmother is no shame. You know, if he can think that quickly and get out of a situation, more power.
He got that honestly. He got that honestly from his dad. He can think on his feet.
Yes, yes, Tiffany. Yes, I agree.
I'll agree for once.
Oh, I never said Ghost wasn't smart now.
No, you haven't.
Okay, and Ryan, like I said, if you feel free to jump in as you please, as you know, we are very opinionated on here, so we kind of jump out there with the comments. So don't be shy.
Please. Yeah.
But you know, I was going to talk about the whole ordeal on campus because, of course, nobody realizes that Jabari is dead, and so
I was like, when they gonna find this man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It kind of drove me crazy that it took a full like 24 hours because he was murdered at night and they didn't find him until maybe like the next night. And
but he was in a park in New York.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and like no one heard the gunshot.
Any minute now.
I guess you're used to stepping over bodies in certain parks in New York.
I was like, that's a shocker. I mean, nobody's seen that once they broke. But I guess not. So, I mean, once they finally found him, they realized that, of course, Ramirez's gun is what was used and it was planted kind of at the scene. So I don't know how well that's going to hold up considering Ramirez is dead too. I don't know if they're going to take this whole murder-suicide thing that it seems like that's what they're trying to set it up to be. But it seems just a little bit too contrived. Like, nah, it's sketchy.
Well, he doesn't have any connection to Ramirez anyway. So like, why would, they
tried to say that it was because of the investigation with the pool and the person that died at the pool. And of course, Jabari was questioning a lot of students on campus in connection with that. And so I guess they're trying to say that it's retaliation for him sticking his nose where it don't belong.
Well, it'll end up happening anyway.
Yeah. And so I'm just thinking about this thing with Tariq because, of course, we've seen that him and KANE kind of made this alliance. I'm going to say, quote unquote, alliance. And Monet is suspicious, of course, because it's like, okay, a murder takes place at your school. It's your professor. And you telling me you had nothing to do with it? So, I mean, and Monet said, you know the consequences of lying to me, right? And he still lied dead to her face.
Well, Monet is on the edge anyway. I mean, she's jumping on everything. A glass drops, she gets her 45 and go downstairs and about ready to blow Drew's head off. So you know, she's dealing with some post-traumatic syndrome as well. So.
Well, wouldn't you be if you murdered the plug? And if you had your son?
Yeah.
But it's interesting, you know, you're in that business, you know, and I guess it takes that to wake you up in some regard, but that's the business you chose. So
true. It's true.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about Monet and her interaction with Diana, because it's like she wants Diana to kind of be this very like manipulative kind of like I don't even know what the word to say is. She just
like a mini version of her.
Like she wants her to be flirtatious and kind of use her charm to get out of situations, but at the same time, she doesn't want Diana to be with Tariq and like
she's stepping on Diana's neck. She is on Diana's neck, like sheesh. Like
it's crazy.
About, I don't know. It's something about Tariq that she just can't get with. I don't know if she honestly believes in Tariq and what he's doing, but there's something about him.
I think she's like, I think she's afraid of Tariq because he can outsmart them and like, because he's a mini ghost. So she's like, well, dang, if he can kill his father,
that's what I'm saying. If he can kill his father, then, you know.
That's a good point.
Loyalty. Loyalty. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if he's not going to be loyal to his father, you can go too.
Yeah, right. That is true. That is so true.
Were you going to say something, Luanda?
No, I said to a certain extent, he's ruthless.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Because he doesn't have the story that, oh, my father abused me, oh, my father abused my mom. He killed him because he was in the way, essentially.
Right. And that's why I said all this stuff is self-inflicted.
Yeah. And I thought we seen Drew, of course he survived getting shot, but it's interesting to me like how Monet has changed up in her reaction to her kids and how she's dealing with them, because Drew was like, when did you get so motherly? Like, since when do you care about us and our well-being and what we want? And this whole thing where she's saying that they're going to get out of the drug business and use Zeke and his, pro career to, feed the family now if they get out of the business. I'm like, that sounds real sketchy, first of all. And the kids also realize, like, our father has nothing to do with this new plan of yours. So what's really good?
Yeah, she's finally talking about an exit plan, and she's putting on a lot of pressure on Zeke to do it. Yeah. I was like, poor Zeke. Zeke, like, I was just on academic probation, and you're talking about going pro.
And he got shot. I mean,
right?
Where you going? He's like, I haven't even been on the court.
Well, one thing for me, I'm glad to see Zeke with a basketball in his hand. We had that problem last season, and they fixed that for me, so I'm good. I'm glad to see that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think I may have brought up something last season about the family looking as if they're going to turn around and turn against Monique in some sense, because you got Drew, Diana, and Zeke giving his mother giving that proposition, or actually no proposition at all, wanting him to, he wants to go another year, and his mother saying, dang, with the year, I need you to go out and get this NBA basketball thing going so we can live on your money. And I think that's just going to be a hard pill to swallow, because it seems like the whole family now is kind of tightening up and wanting to be themselves and not be driven by their mother's wishes and dreams.
But I have a question. Do you guys actually think that that's legit? Like, do you think Monet would leave the drug business? Because I can't see it for some reason.
I think when Drew got shot, it woke her up.
Yeah.
This is a reality that I've put my kids and my family into, and if I don't do something, that next shot could be the one that takes him out. So, she's showing some motherhood, which we didn't think she had in the first season. So I think she's showing a bit more motherhood. Yes, Tiffany, I think she's showing a bit more motherhood than we did.
Is it motherhood or is it self-serving?
I don't believe it's certain. Well, I believe that it's both. I believe that there's a mixture of both. The fact that she's trying to rein her kids in and do what she wants them to do is self-serving. But at the same time, I think with realizing the fact that this game could only wind up one or two ways, dead or in jail. And I think she's beginning to feel that for her children, and she wants them out.
Well, she doesn't feel that way about Kane. I mean, because he really tried to make things right by getting a new plug for them.
She didn't even let Kane in the house.
She barely even heard him out. I mean, since she's seen his face, she basically ran off on him.
She's written him off. I think she's just.
Plus, he killed Ramirez too.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Ramirez was like her inside man too, So by him doing that, because he was jealous or whatever and stuff too, like, he cut off her sex because that was her boo thing. And he cut off her plug in the sense that he was, putting her on the game on the streets with the police and everything. So yeah, he's been screwing up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it seems like it was a lot going on this episode because the Kane storyline, and of course he's rolling with this new guy who he made up alliance with last season. But they got people coming after them, I guess, in retaliation for what he did last season. And I guess this new person who has been brought on, they already suspect him of being like a narc, and they're trying to feel him out. Yeah, Mecca. They're trying to like feel him out and see like, okay, what are you really about? But it's like, if you were trying to make an alliance with somebody, I would probably know everything about you as much as I could before I tried to make an alliance and consider you as a plug. And of course, Kane discovers later on that Mecca has all of these drugs. And so he offers to, push for him. So I was like, I don't know, that whole storyline just I'm not sure where that's going because it doesn't seem to serve the storyline now that Monet is saying she's getting out the business anyways. Because I guess the whole thing was for Kane to bring that plug to Monet.
Well, I think this is where that's what I'm going to say. Mecca and Monet are going to hook up.
Really?
I think he's going to be a potential love interest.
I didn't see that coming because Mecca mentioned that he is familiar with Lorenzo and they have history there. So I'm like,
and Lorenzo's in the Bing.
I can see
Lorenzo still got reach outside the Bing.
But Ramirez was sleeping with Monet too.
Yes, I was like, Ramirez was sleeping with. That's what I'm saying. I Mecca's going to be a love interest.
Yeah, Mecca, because Mecca seems like he's a number one, a little bit above Ramirez, like he's gonna take control, take the lead. Because Ramirez looked like he's getting bitched around by Monet. He was
telling her what to do. Like don't pop up in my crib. Like she was signing Ramirez. She ain't gonna be able to do that with Mecca.
Well, if he turns out to be her love interest, I would say Monet definitely has a type.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, LaWanda? Because you were.
Well, part of it, I'm thinking that she felt like she couldn't get touched because of the Tejada name. They got touched, so that name is not as strong in the streets as it used to be. So she's not protected. She doesn't have Ramirez to protect her. She's going to be looking for some type of coverage or protection, whoever can provide that. But the whole Mecca thing feels like a setup for whatever reason, whether he's an undercover fed, the kind that doesn't matter if they kill somebody on the street or not. You know what I mean? It's something about that whole situation that doesn't bode well for that family.
And Mecca and Monet together just doesn't seem like a cool mix. They're both very strong-minded, and I just don't see. To me, Monet would have to, in a sense, bow down to Mecca, and I don't see that happening with Monet. She's not going to bow down to anybody. So it would be one hell of a mix if it does come up to play.
But it does feel like he's trying to get to her through Kane. That's what it feels like. It like she's the target, she's the goal, but he's coming through Kane.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Well, that's an interesting prediction. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it looked like he was ready to blow Kane's head off when he saw the drugs. So like, it doesn't seem like he really likes Kane just yet. But I don't know. That's interesting.
That's a setup. Why would you have him there and then have these drugs all over the plane with the door open, hoping he's not going to see it? That's why I think it feels like a setup. Like
I think it was a setup. He was testing him.
He was testing him, and he wanted to see what he would do. And that's interesting too, because I know I can't run with somebody who's always trying to check me. You know,
it's true. That's true.
That's a problem.
Yeah, and go ahead, Tiffany.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, well. Kane and Lil Guap was trying to test him at first. Because that's what he said. He said that he was like, why does it feel like y'all testing me? You know, so I mean, it makes sense that he in turn was trying to test Kane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about a little bit of the testing of the situations or just situations that felt like a setup. This whole situation with Carrie and the detective, because he kind of blindsided her, telling her that they were going to go out to
He gets the hands.
Yeah.
He gets the hands.
She got the hands for dealing with him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I was like, what is that about? Because she was on the phone talking and saying how she was going to leave Jabari alone. She's going to leave Zeke alone, which I got to put her on the hands again later on.
I was going to say, she deserved to be on the hands list too, because she definitely had poor judgment in men. She said she was good, and she met a nice guy, and she was leaving Zeke alone. And what did we see later?
She be right up in bed with him again.
Doing
after Monet threatened her. So I'm like, okay, you knew what you was playing with. But okay, we're gonna get to that. The detective rose up on her under the guise of going to a coffee date, and he was like, well, actually, I want to take you somewhere else, which turns out to be the morgue, and he's bringing her in to identify a body.
That was foul.
Yeah,
that was foul.
Detective Stanfield, first of all, I don't see the love interest there. She said that they have a thing, and that's what she
had.
Well, first of all, when she said she was meeting the detective, I thought she was talking about Laz Alonso's character.
Yeah, so she got Detective Stanfield.
I was like,
You know, and he doesn't even look like, he looks like he would try to set up his mother. So I don't even understand why she fell for that, but she did. And, you know, if I was she, when I walked into that morgue, but I guess.
Why? I'm not the next of kin. Why am I going to the morgue?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then he was questioning her like, oh, it seems like it was more to it. They're like, hold up,
Hey, you need to cut down his shade tree like
yeah. I was like, yeah, he definitely gets the hands this week.
Like Reek. When Reek cut down Congressman Sweeney's tree.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll talk about that, but that was the sweetest thing. I loved it. I was
here for that. I was like, get him, Reek. And the thing is this, look, white privilege was definitely on display in this episode. But Reek was he was letting him have it, and I said that's gonna be Rashad Tate's entry back into Tariq's life and stuff, because Uncle Rick is a racist mama. And they're gonna be able to use that situation to get some dirt, and Rashad is gonna get his seat.
I agree. It's a lot. So I was glad that there was a couple of different angles to come at on this episode, because okay, we already talked about Carrie. She definitely got to get the hands. So we're gonna put a button on the Carrie situation. Carrie gets the hands for sleeping with Zeke, even after she has been threatened by Monet, and after she said she was gonna leave the students alone.
And poor judgment and suitors, because the cop is definitely poor judgment too.
Yes, and then we gave the detective, I think his name is Kevin, we're gonna give him the hands too for blindsiding her like that, because even as a detective, you didn't have to take that route. You could have just pulled her in and said, tell her what the situation is. And I guess I don't know if that's some kind of tactic to see her reaction to finding out, you know.
That was foul.
It was still foul.
It's foul because just because she works there doesn't mean she killed him. Like, that was crazy. That whole thing was crazy. So
it's wild. And then he kind of like backed her into a corner of, you know, telling her that she had to give him the list of all the people that they interviewed on campus so that he could start looking into that. So that whole ordeal was just like, wow, that was low.
He reminded me of Sax a little bit. He kind of like a cop Sax.
Yeah, he gung-ho, because now that Sax is in a different role, you know, working with what's his face? Davis. Yeah, they need a new Sax.
Wasn't that detective the same detective that called Reek? Because I thought
it is. Yeah, he called him at the end.
I thought his name was Stanfield.
The school is Stansfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The school is Stansfield. His name, I thought it was like Whitten or something like that.
Yeah.
Whitten.
Kevin I didn't catch the last name, but the first name is Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, but that's another thing. So he doesn't really have any interest at all in Carrie.
No.
She couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I said she can be on the hands, because the poor judgment all the way around.
Her antennas is way off.
Well, you know,
her barometer is broken.
But she has this sexual addiction that is seemingly just draws her to anybody. I mean,
anybody with a peen.
Come on. I mean, you know, look, if you got Monet telling you to stay away from her son, and you still want to roll up with him like that,
she's checking out this season. We already look. I can already see it. She gonna be next.
I have to agree, because that sexual drive of hers is something else.
Because she gonna be obsessing over the Jabari thing. You know, she's a former prosecutor, so she gonna start looking into things herself. She gonna get a little too close, and she gonna have to go.
I can see that. So yeah, we'll put a button on that Carrie situation. You got to get the hands, girl. And so we started talking a little bit about Davis and Sax too. And so they have teamed up. You know, Sax thinks he's a partner, but really Davis is using him. And later in the episode, we found out why, because he has this brother. Shout out to Redman. It's so good to see them on screen together. Yeah, they always are like the best tag team. So I'm glad that Redman is a part of the cast now as Davis's brother, but he has a plan to get his brother out of jail, which apparently he's in there for a long time. I mean, he's supposed to die in jail, and Davis is basically saying Saxe is going to be the key to getting him out. So Davis always has ulterior motives, and pretty much everything he does, you can't really trust him. He's always been a little shady. How he did everybody, he did Tasha last season, we seen how he did Paula last season,
and he's still cheating, still got a wandering eye, you see.
Yes,
he was camping on the stylist.
Yeah, so yeah, you really can't trust Davis as far as you can throw him, but that's going to be another area to explore. And I wonder if Saxe catches on at some point and, you know, thwarts his plan. So that's still something to look out for. I still don't understand why. I know Saxe was they busted his balls last season, but I would never go and work for Davis under any circumstances.
Saxe is a nomad.
He's swayed by the money.
He's a nomad. He doesn't know where he is, what he's doing. He's just waving in the wind. I think, you know, I don't know what he wants out of this anymore, because obviously his career as an attorney, you know, or whatever he was, it's not going to happen. So you know, hooking up with Davis is really only going to make matters worse, because Davis really didn't give a hoot about Saxe. So,
or Tariq for that matter. You heard what he said. He said we'll look for Tasha and we're gonna charge him for every second that we spend looking. And I'm like, he really is just he's a bird.
Tariq didn't make it any better by saying, I'll make it worth your while if you can come up with the whereabouts of my mom.
Yeah, he was gonna pay him. I mean,
we're gonna pay him, so might as well get paid.
Yeah, but we kind of seen where that landed Tariq by the end of the episode, because he was so anxious to try to find Tasha, and he was thinking that the phone call that came in at the end of the episode might have been her, because it was like an unknown caller. And it turns out it's the detective. And so they're able to track his location and to basically figure out like, okay, it's somebody at that school. And I was like, oh, big mistake. No, that's gonna be a big problem for him. And I'm wondering how he's gonna, Tariq always finds a way to shift blame to somebody else, but now that they know, it's like now that they know that it's somebody on campus, he told Monet that still moving product at the school wasn't going to be an issue. And now he has brought all the attention to the school by doing that. And I know it was an accident.
Crime scene.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was an accident, but it's still like, come on, man, you go, son. You got to be smoother than that.
Let me ask Ryan. Ryan, what do you think about Brandon and linking
Brayden?
Up? I mean, Brayden linking up with Tariq. I mean, is that something that you think can work long term? I don't see Brayden as
he definitely has the drive to want to be like on the streets and everything. He's definitely a hothead like Tommy, but I don't know if he has the. I don't know. They try to make them Ghost 2.0 and Tommy 2.0. I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to say. I think it could work. It could work, but he has that.
He doesn't have that street mentality that it takes to be a Tommy.
Okay.
Or you know, to be a secondhand man like Tommy was to Ghost.
He can be a good friend, but at least we know by them going on a hunting trip, that lets us know that he knows how to handle a gun. I said that there it is. There's the exposition there. He knows how to use a gun.
Well,
so
was that shot really directed at Tariq? Remember that shot that hit the tree?
Oh yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think so. Remember, did you catch what they said? Called him Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
That was funny.
He had a scope. He looked like he was looking that way.
Yeah, I think he did it on purpose. Like he wasn't.
He did that on purpose. Yeah, he tried to.
I think he was trying to shake him up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm like, well, why? I didn't see that coming.
Well, you didn't hear what he was talking at the dinner party? I mean, Tariq was talking that talk.
Yeah, Tariq shut him down. Tariq shut him down.
He did shut him down.
Because he was trying to act like Tariq was some poor, underprivileged minority student. Right. and Tariq pretty much let him know he was just as privileged as he was. He was like, yeah, I go to school because my father left me a trust.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. And the drug conversation also came up because we were talking about Brayden and being in this world. He's not really street. And in this case, he doesn't necessarily need to be, because Tariq kind of called him out saying, you know, like, you can have your white privilege, use it. We can transport the drugs in your car. Just make sure you don't speed. And if they get caught, you flash your ID and they see your last name.
So let you go.
There's privilege in that.
Yeah. And he comes from like a powerful family like Tommy does, like the mafia, but his is more legit. So it's kind of like a different balance where it's a different dynamic duo because they're both from rich families. So they don't have to go about it the same way as Ghost and Tommy did. They can do it a little more legitimate way to kind of hide them doing their drug dealing. So I could see that happening. And like Brayden using that to, you know, get the drug dealing, all that done. I can see that happen.
Yeah.
That's the point that he was making, that Tariq was making. He was like, so how much of that pharmaceutical money are you taking? Because they selling drugs is just legal, basically.
Hello. I was about to piggyback on that. I love the fact how he tied the drug in like the opiate situation, opioids.
Right. Because I mean, that is the truth of the matter.
Yeah, there's that white collar drug, and then there's blue collar.
It's legal drug selling and it's illegal drug selling.
And he drew it together. They're both drugs, and they're both.
I was like, come on, Tariq. He can't.
That's some hellified writing right there.
Yeah, I was like, that monologue was on point.
Yeah, and I think he definitely, like, the younger crew was definitely like, okay, so finally somebody calling out these fools.
Yeah.
But of course, I feel like, you know, to Brayden's father and of course the congressman were kind of like, I don't really like this kid. And so when they went hunting, I guess they were kind of shaking him up on purpose by doing that to him.
Leave Tariq alone. Tariq shoot back.
Yeah, right. They just don't know. They better ask somebody.
You better know. You better know.
Come up dead around Tariq.
Right. You don't miss with Tariq. If you're gonna take a shot at him, don't miss.
Don't miss.
Exactly. And so I really love that whole segment because Tariq really set them straight on that topic. And then of course with the congressman, we seen, like you brought up Congressman Tate. We seen him this episode, so they're kind of setting up his spinoff. I can see it. Because he was depressed on his brother's couch, drinking himself into a stupor, and brother kind of tells him, you gotta get your ish together. And that kind of like puts the fire under him. So he's decided now he's going after Congressman Sweeney's seat. Yeah. And so I think in his spinoff,
I hope he gets it. You know, a lot of times we think Rashad Tate is shady, but I'd rather see Rashad Tate in that seat than that Bama Sweeney.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought Tate had like won or like got some sort of like seat in the end of season 6.
He's a councilman. He's still a councilman. He still has that seat, but he lost the bid for the governorship.
Oh, so he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So it looked like he was winning last season or something.
It did. It looked like Ghost's death. He had profited from it, but apparently he still ended up losing. And that's why he was depressed on the couch. And that's what his brother was reminding him of. Like, you still have a seat. Like, you're still a councilman and you can do something with it. And now he's trying to find dirt to get, dirt on Sweeney so he can take his seat. And I think he might.
Yeah, I think so too. So I mean, we kind of pretty much touched on a lot of the major points for this episode. Going forward, I mean, we kind of have already called out some of our predictions, but I think one thing I'm gonna throw out there is I think Tariq just needs to probably figure out something for his PTSD, because he's having all of these flashbacks, and even as he was supposed to take the final kill shot on the deer, he's just reliving all of the people he's killed. I can see that it's starting to affect him more and more. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's not like his lifestyle is changing for the better. So I can see him taking some more people out, and it's just starting to affect him. I think he needs to find some outlet or somebody that he can confide in. I know Diana offered to be that person for him.
And Lauren is trying to be too.
I think it's going to be Effie.
Oh yeah, see, and that's the thing, because he has this little triangle of women. So who can you see Tariq, really having as his ride or die?
I have to say Effie because she's like the best of both worlds for him.
Mhm.
They just fit well together. Lauren's too much like Angela, try to bring the ghost. Diana's a little too much. Well, she's not too much for the streets. She's like in, like on the street side, but Effie's like in the middle. Or like that was kind of his first love, I think. What did you say?
Close to it, yeah.
It was like his first love. They shared that story about his sister dying in the first season 5. So she knows him. Like she knows him in through and through, and that's how he feels about her. So I see it being Effie all the way. Like something that Ghost didn't have. Like, well, I guess he had it with Angela.
The only thing I wonder about Effie is that she has her own empire she's running. And I feel like that could be a conflict for her, because I think Tariq, he likes strong women, but I think he also likes a softer woman that can fall back sometimes. I feel like Effie is really like strong-willed, and she don't like to take the back seat.
And she'll sell them out. She's done it before.
Right.
I started to say, I don't see a strong backbone with Effie. Diana would be my choice. Now, he has an uphill
Because of Monet.
Because of Monet.
Monet ain't trying to let that go down.
Yeah, she's not trying to let that go down. But if we had to choose one, I would choose Diana.
If you saw the previews, it looks like Diana and Effie are going to form some type of alliance. So that's
I was ready to say that.
He's not going to be able to deal with either one of them without it being a problem at this point.
Exactly, because she was asking Effie for help to teach her some things. So I was like,
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't see that preview?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Diana was asking Effie, like, will you show me how? I was like, oh my gosh, what?
But that might fortify Diana and Tariq even more, because what she learns from Effie can certainly, play into Tariq's hands in terms of what he needs from her. So I don't know. I'm still, if I had to put my money on it, it'd be Diana and Tariq. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. But if I had to put
I
my
like
money
Diana.
on it,
I like her.
Diana too.
I like it too.
Yeah, I just don't like what Monet is trying to turn her into, like this.
No, I don't either, because she couldn't even load the gun. Like, you can see her over there struggling. Like, I'm like, she's not built for this life for real.
Exactly.
Let the girl go to school.
Yeah, please, because she wound up shooting herself. But I wanted to say something about Tariq and Ghost, and what I think I'm getting out of all this is, I think Tariq is beginning to see that he's not like his father. And one thing about Ghost killed because he had to in a lot of instances, and seemingly it didn't bother him because he knew he had to do whatever it was he had to do. Tariq at this young age,
it bothered Ghost. In the very first episode of season 1, he was changing.
Yeah, but I'm saying overall in the whole series, Ghost did what he had to do and he went on. Whereas Tariq, he's already looking at the fact that he killed his dad, and that right in and of itself, if it's just that one kill, he killed his father, and that's a heavy thing to start being.
I think the difference is that Ghost kind of killed it. He didn't necessarily have any connections with the people he killed, not like deep ties to them, but killing people that he knows.
Except Rolla. Rolla was hard.
And that was
that was one that he definitely took to heart. And it always bothered him that he did that.
And that's that one. And I agree with you. That's that one. But Tariq starting out killing family members and professors, and Lord knows
that's demon time right there.
No, agreed. I mean,
that is like you killing dad, and he was great. Take out the poor single mother. Like, thank goodness. What's old girl name last season? She was
Epiphany.
Epiphany. He was great. Take her out. Had she not said that she was during lead time.
I actually ran into her, the actress, a few weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Like, yeah, I was at a coffee shop. I was like, that voice sounds familiar. I looked over. I was like,
well, that's cool.
I was like, you Epiphany, right? She was like, yeah. I was just like, I recognize the voice. I was like,
okay. I want to she'll resurface in season 2.
So
hopefully.
Looks like, Ryan, you're going to have to be our LA watch. So
I got you.
Yeah, the other thing I was wondering about, you guys, do you think Tasha resurfaces this season? I know she's gonna have to pop up somehow, but
Somehow.
I'm not sure where it's gonna fit in.
Tasha's on Queens, ABC.
Right.
So maybe not, but who knows? You know what? I'm feeling like at some point, if she doesn't pop up on Ghost, she may pop up on Force and Tommy's, because Tommy gonna still be on a quest to kill her.
Yeah.
So if not this series, it might be Force.
That's a good point.
Do you think that'll ever go down though? Do you actually think that Tommy will actually, eventually get to Tasha and kill her?
We know Tommy can hold a grudge.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
She killed the woman he loved and stuff, and he told Tariq, he was like, she definitely gonna get a hot one for sure. He told Tariq.
Yeah, it's just they can work better together,
I know. I'm sorry that they were like brother and sister, so I like the family unit together. So it's sad to see it being the way it is now.
It is, but I understand why Tommy feel the way he do.
Oh, listen,
I'm not mad at him.
I'm not mad at him either. I mean, that was traumatic seeing her killed.
But she didn't have a choice. I mean,
she did not have a choice.
Yeah, she didn't.
I don't know. I felt like she did. They should have just waited for Tom to get back and see what happened.
What? But y'all are y'all forgetting that she went for the gun?
Went for the gun. That's what I'm saying.
Keisha went for the gun.
Correct.
Well,
and then they were fighting.
Tasha was being very threatening.
She was.
No, she said I'm not going to let you leave. She said I'm going to take the papers. Like she said, you signed the paper. She said we just going to wait for Tommy to get here. And I don't think Keisha wanted to be there when Tommy got there. Because like Tommy killed his ex-girlfriend. I mean, so she was not trying to be there. And I think that's why she went for the gun. Like, I'm getting up out of here.
Right.
And so when you go for a gun, you raise up.
That's true.
Yeah, you gotta go. And Tommy don't deal with people trying to leave him anyway. So, if he
don't deal with snitches. If he would have seen those papers, I think she'd have been gone anyway.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. So I think
you don't do well with snitches.
Theoretically, she had no choice, but she lost in that gunfight. So, that's just the way it was. And it's just unfortunate Tommy doesn't believe Tasha's story.
No, I mean, he believes it. He didn't want, he saw the papers. But it's just the fact that she went through with it, because it was an accident when he first shot her. But when she shot her in the head and finished her off, that's deliberate.
But I thought my memory was that she signed the papers, but she wasn't going with them. She was just going to leave.
Yeah, she's just going to run and not.
Yeah, she was going to run. She wasn't going to the Fed. She was like, I can't do that. I'm just going to leave. Yeah.
She said, I'm just going to roll. And but
you can't trust her.
They would have hunted her down. They would have found her. They would have found her.
Okay, well, for I guess the Tommy Force comes on right after PowerBook II finishes. So we'll definitely find out sooner than later. We have a lot to look forward to. And, just based on kind of what we've seen out of the Powerverse, Raising Kanan was a hit. That was,
love that show. Yeah, love that show.
That's good.
And so I'm looking forward to kind of getting the same feel out of PowerBook II. It's a different tone, in the shows. And so I just look forward to more great storytelling coming from PowerBook II and this Powerverse. And so I'm excited for all the spinoffs that are going to be happening after with Tommy and Tate, and then just seeing what PowerBook II brings, because based on this first episode, they got a ton of stuff to work with. I mean, so many different storylines to go off of. And so you guys kind of threw your predictions out there. Do you have anything else you want to add before we close out?
The only thing I want to say is I so miss Ghost. I wish he had a twin brother somewhere that they can bring in, because I really would like to see, a spinoff with that.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Do y'all really think Ghost is dead?
Yes, because Courtney said it over and over and over again. She's like, Ghost is dead.
But I don't know. I mean,
I think we'll see him again. I think we might see him again as a flashback or something like that. Because I can see Ghost resurfacing, especially in Tommy's series, like even as a flashback or as a ghost, like how Angela still appeared to not, she wasn't really a ghost, but you know, his conscience, how Angela still appeared in Power after she was dead, and how Ghost still saw like Raina when she died and stuff like that, and how we still see Kanan, you know, comes up speaking to Tariq and stuff. We may see Ghost in that fashion. I think we probably see Ghost again, and Ron ain't gonna believe me when I say this, but I miss Ghost too. I do. I miss seeing Ghost. I miss seeing Ghost.
Tiffany, I'm too old for you to hit me like that all of a sudden.
Please. She missed seeing Ghost.
Miss seeing Ghost.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Lord.
I still think he's alive. I still think he's alive.
Thanks for that.
No, but the show, I mean, it is hard. I mean, come on now, you know. I mean, Ghost did his thing, like.
Yeah, he did.
No, I see that, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's always that one scene where when he confronts Tariq after like Proctor dies, he's like, "Don't think you're smarter than me, bro. Like, don't ever make that mistake again."
I don't think he's smarter than him, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, I think if we do see Ghost again, it's going to be in the form of a flashback. If he is still alive, I would be glad to see it.
We never saw his body in the morgue, though.
No, we didn't.
No,
we never saw his body, and they never did an RIP for him.
No,
they did it for everybody else.
They had a funeral. They had
no. I mean, like, you know, for the characters, they did like an RIP for Angela, Brad, Tommy.
He's still holding out hope.
I'm just saying.
Look, we all are. I think
we thought KANE was dead.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of fans feel the way you do. A lot of fans are hoping to see Ghost again, and I feel like we
maybe Jamie died, but Ghost is still alive. They did say that. I'm just saying.
I agree. I'm.
You may just come back. You know what, Tariq? I'm gonna show you the game. That's what you want.
That would be something. That would be something.
That would be full
teach Tariq a lesson. Like,
yeah.
I told you he wasn't smarter than me.
No, first smack him upside the head for shooting.
Now he might blast him in the leg.
Right, now let's get to
shooting in the chest.
Yeah, because how do you go back from that? Like, your son tried to kill you.
Well, you know, I think, and you kind of said it, Tiffany. If Ghost is alive and you have time to reflect on the kind of father you say he was, and if he feels that, you know, he could have been a better father, and that, you know, that whole scenario with his son killing him or attempting to kill him, if he is still alive, I can see where that would, you know, say to him, "Hey, look, let me get to my son and let's see if we can work something out, because I wasn't the greatest dad, and I need to reach out to him since he's in this business, make certain that he, you know, does it right."
Okay, well, I'm not mad at y'all's keeping hope alive for Ghost. It will be interesting, but I'm not too optimistic based on what Courtney be saying.
I know. She said many times, y'all, Ghost is dead. He's dead. His story is over.
She did one time say, like, yeah, he's dead, but you never know. You know, it's power. Anything can happen.
Right.
World of make-believe. Anything.
Right. That's why I think if we see him again, it's probably going to be in the form of the flashbacks or how they show Kanan and stuff. It might be, I don't know that we'll see him back, you know.
Yeah.
I'll accept him as a long lost twin brother. Might Bing, you know, got out.
I don't know. I feel like that might be too cheesy if they do that.
I like you.
He loves it to Ghost.
He just a Ghost fan. I know. I tell you,
I respect it though.
I hope one day we have the pleasure of having Omari on, and because I will tell him, I was like, you know, Ron Cape harder for you than Proctor and Silver ever could have been. This is your biggest fan. This is Ghost's biggest fan right here.
You better know.
And I'm gonna get your Team Ghost shirt and everything for that interview.
Look, I will print some. I got a printer. I got everything. Go ahead and bring him back. See what you find on my chest.
Okay, well, I think the general consensus about this first episode, I mean, did we enjoy it? Is it a yay or a nay? Or are we somewhere in the middle? We still holding out to see where things go?
I think it had as you said, a kind of airy feel to the first episode. I mean, because they were hitting all points, but they can, you know, I see where it's going or where it can go. You know, I wouldn't definitely give it a thumbs down. There were some parts in there that truly was worth holding on to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were very critical of the first season, just because it was not what we're used to. It's an introduction of a whole bunch of different characters, and so now that we've seen where that ended, we kind of were like, okay, they working with something. So I think we know the power formula. It's a slow, steady build up. Then by episode 5, things take off, and you kind of are on the edge of your seat for the rest of the season. So I think they're gonna probably stick to the same formula. What I will say is it's great to have the big rich town back. You know,
Yeah.
a long time. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember this.
Yep.
So I'm excited the show is back. Looking forward to seeing what everybody does this season. To all of our viewers out there, thank you so much for watching. Ryan, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for giving us your input. I know Ron appreciates it more than anybody.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to come back, sir.
Anytime. I'll email you. I'll let you know.
All right, cool.
Ryan, I know the struggle, man. You on here by yourself. Team goes. I was like, I gotta come on and help my friend.
I appreciate you. You know, it started out with now. One thing I have to say, LaWanda's kind of neutral though she will sneak a punch in on me every now and then. I've been knocked. Yeah, LaWanda.
You're talking about LaWanda likes Ghost too.
No, I'm not talking about Ghost. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes LaWanda get it in too, but you know, I know it's a woman thing. I got it. So, you know, it's good. It's all good.
He really puts a glove on you.
Look, I got a martial artist. I got a martial artist to back me up. So I'm not worried about y'all three anymore.
Oh Lord. You just threw LaWanda in the bus. She really put a glove on you.
Look, I say she don't hit me as hard as y'all. Well, you do, Tiffany. I don't know. You come at me. Tiffany come at me.
Right. You see how he does?
No. I know you coming. Look, LaWanda, I see your piece, but I see that little legal pen you got behind you too. So I heard
Well, Ron, we're gonna have to make sure we keep you some backup. We'll stay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Like you got you little hurt over there, but it's nothing personal. It's not we trying to team up on you.
I know it's just
love here at the spot.
It's organic. It's organic. I know where it comes from. I'm not mad at you. It's organic.
Yes. You guys, thank you again for watching. I just want to make sure we're mindful of Ryan's time. I don't want to keep him too long, but thank you. Okay, thank you to everyone for watching. Drop down in the comments and let us know what you thought about PowerBook II Season 2, Episode 1. Give us your predictions for this season, and also make sure you check out our BMF recap. We just did BMF recap, so that should be up, and we also have a ton of great interviews with the cast of BMF from Lil Zane and Miles Bullock, who were playing characters on the show, and then we had the writer who is Randy Huggins. He wrote BMF, and also Nicole Brianna White, who plays Lucille Meech's mother on the show. So check out all of those interviews. Those are up right now, and they have a ton of juicy details about the show and behind the scenes. So get into that. And make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are on every major social media platform: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all of them. Give us a follow there. Make sure you keep up with us, and come back here next week, same time, same place, for another episode, a recap of the episode 2 going on for PowerBook II. Got anything else to add? We good? All right, everyone. Thank you,
Ryan, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Seeing y'all soon.
Have a good night.
All right,
Bye.
The sun is going down now. Been at it for a while, and I have had enough of this. I doubt that we can solve it. Been trying for so long, and I just can't ignore that it won't